My name's Erica Royer. I'm an aviculturist here at our Front Royal campus at Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute. And we are in the small animal facility where we house both black-footed ferrets and some of our bird species. For me and for a lot of others, these birds are really special. They have a ton of people working to recover the species for many decades, and so it does take a lot of time, effort, and resources to save a species. So after World War II, the brown tree snake was accidentally introduced to Guam. This invasive species spread relatively quickly on Guam and wiped out 10 of the 12 species of birds. We're going to offer the Sihek their afternoon snacks, which come in the form of some frozen thawed anoles. Anoles are a tiny lizard. And so these are one of their favorite snacks. So we always check to make sure we can see the birds first before we walk in, just in case one's injured or down on the ground. We want to make sure we see them before we enter. So I see there's a male in the back, and then his female is actually in the nest incubating eggs. So we do like to try to put food in a few different locations to make it a little more interesting. Or sometimes we'll hide food items, so they have to forage a little bit for it. So this is one of our blinds for observation. So as you've seen, the Sihek don't do a whole lot when we're in there. And if I sit here in a chair, they will definitely do nothing. So we sit inside of here behind this camouflage screen, and that way they can't see us while we're watching them for breeding introductions. They do tend to be territorial, and so when we're first introducing a pair, we need to monitor them closely to make sure they don't hurt one another. We'll also look for any courtship behavior, nest excavation, look to see if they're spending more time in the nest box, which is how we know there's probably eggs in there, and then hopefully eventually making sure they're feeding any chicks that are in there. So we try to be as hands-off as possible and just watch from afar and not be too invasive in their space. So right now we're going to go into our incubator room and candle some of our fertile Guam Sihek eggs. Here are a couple of our incubators over here. So now we're going to candle it. And if you haven't heard of candling, so you can use different kinds of bright lights. This is actually just a flashlight with an extra piece attached to the end. So we'll shine this into the egg, and that will allow us to see what's developing or not developing inside of there. And this doesn't have any effect or harm on the developing embryo. We only do it for a short period, and then we want to put the egg back where it's warm and cozy in their incubator. And in there you can see this tiny Guam Sihek growing chick. He's really kicking. Well, we hope it's a girl. She's really kicking today. We can just turn it gently and see what the whole egg looks like, and everything is looking really good. It is a lot of effort, but I think they're a species that are worth it, and they are very important to the people in Guam. Most people that are there now have never even seen a Sihek because they have not been in the wild in Guam since the 1980s. So it's really important for us to be able to eventually return these birds home to Guam where they belong.